So we can call to order at 7:04. And I don't see any public participation. We'll put the approval of the minutes off. Since I saw the email, Jock, did you get a chance to do the swearing in and stuff? I know that you were approved. Are you through all of the things that you need to do?
I emailed Cherry Dalton this, but there's this like training that I have to do on the website, and I checked
Yep.
into my account and it's like I can't see it. Um,
Okay.
she emailed me a screenshot that showed me that it's assigned to me, but I still can't see it, and I've logged in
Okay.
several times. And the town's clerk thing I still have to do, but everything else is done. Oh, and the office law training. That should be done by October 30th.
So
Okay.
you did sign in with the town clerk then? Take the oath?
No, I
Not
still have
yet.
to do that.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're not voting yet.
Yeah,
No.
so you can't vote today,
Yes.
but yeah, but you are, so by the November meeting, you should be all set. If you run into
Yes.
any problems or, if you need, I don't know, if there's anything that I can do to be helpful, just let me know. Feel free to email
Yes,
me.
thank you.
Sherry Dalton will be more helpful because she has done this so many times, but if, I'm available as well. Um, So let's see. So then we are for operations. I noticed that, or I got a question from Sherry Dalton. I think so now with our group being so small, and I don't know how this will change once you are voted in, but we reach a quorum quite quickly, I believe. Is that so, Sherry? I think you had checked into this as well. When there's two of us, three of us, when there's
Yeah,
three of us.
yeah. Well, eventually there'll be 5 voting, so that would be 3 of us would be 2.5 of us, actually. It's supposed to be 50%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So right now it's when two of us were like we just reach a quorum pretty quickly. So if we're all on an event, as long as we don't discuss matters, and we just attend the events as individuals and don't discuss matters, we should be okay. I checked in with Tom Mullen and with Sherry Dalton just to make sure. Because I think that, you know, I think that they're not, um, as Sherry had asked about subcommittees and such, and I said, right now, we're not really doing a lot of subcommittee meetings because we're so small, but we just have to keep an eye on that, and I let them know too that we're doing the best we can with a small number, so.
but you're referring to the meeting on November 7th
The
that
meeting on November
Senator
7th.
Lewis has arranged.
Yep, and I think that it was also mentioned for Town Day and just generally like to make sure that we don't accidentally hold a meeting, that we don't accidentally hold a meeting just by showing up somewhere. So so I think that I think so I just clarified a few things. We can all go to that meeting on November 7th.
Sure.
We just are attending as individuals and shouldn't discuss any matters until we meet again in a meeting. But that's
Well,
all. Um,
we could vote on the past minutes because we have 3 of the 4 people who were
oh,
present at that meeting, and that's a
yep,
quorum at this meeting as well.
that's
So
great. Yeah, so let's do that. Thanks for sending those over. And I believe, Sherry, you mentioned that there was one name that Amy's name needed to be.
yeah, Amy, I believe you were at the last meeting, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
So
Yes, I was.
All
she's
right. I
present.
checked the meeting notes and I didn't see your video pop up, so I was very
May have
confused for a
come, yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
So
and
Oh,
Jalak
you know
is,
what? Actually, no. No, I was not. My son broke his leg on the 15th and I was out
oh,
3 days. I
okay,
was not in. That is,
okay.
I was not here. Sorry.
okay.
Oh,
Okay, my error. You're always present. That's why I thought somehow we missed you.
Yeah.
And Locke is not a liaison, she's a commissioner-elect.
So I've changed your lock and updated the minutes to have her listed as a commissioner-elect,
Mhm.
Great.
but I do not have Amy listed as being present.
Okay, great. And that's
Okay.
correct. Sorry to
So
hear
in-
about your
So
son.
in that case, I make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected. The minutes of the, what's this month? This is
September,
September 2024 HRC meeting as corrected.
I second.
I
Everybody,
say
vote.
yes.
I approve.
I approve.
Okay, we've got
Great.
it.
Operations also thank you for organizing the box, Sherry. I got your text.
Yes, it was a mess.
Yeah, it got to be a mess. I feel like we packed up a couple of times really quickly in for the farmers market event. We packed up pretty quickly to get out of there, and then we packed up in the rain, and it just got to be a mess.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing
Well,
that.
it's very organized now, and I don't know if you're going to need that material for the 30th, but I wanted to be sure that you'd be able to pull things out and use it. I believe, well, we'll get to that when we get to the activities. I'll talk about that.
Okay.
You want me to say anything about finances?
Sure. Is there anything that there is to say?
Yeah, the reports you got finally reflect that we have over $2,400 in our revolving
Great.
fund. And, and it does not have all our current expenditures because it always is a month or 6 weeks behind. So the next report will show if she had not received the check yet. The Indigenous woman had not received her check yet as of last Thursday, but I'm hoping that she'll have it so that it will be on the next report as well as the $500 that we kicked in for the Galvin program at the Amigo Club program at the library, at the Galvin Library. So,
Okay.
so finally we have reports that are reflective of what's going on.
Okay, great. And I will add it on under, I forgot to add in, but we can also chat about the grant application.
Oh, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's financial. So for, I'll jump into that to segue into activities. I know, Jill submitted for the grant application for the Arts Council. I also had the Arts Council check with the Mass Cultural Council, and I'll just recuse myself when they do the voting for that one group. So we're all good to go. And Jill now has those, that application for any future applicants.
How much was requested?
I am not sure how much she requested. I would have to look. I think in the past we've requested between like 1,000 and 1,500. Does that sound right?
Last year I requested 15 and we received 18.
Okay. Yeah, I know that sometimes
me.
they try to balance especially if you had gotten less than you requested in the past, they try and balance it out so people are kind of getting a overall fair amount. So yeah, if you got more, that's great. And yeah, and I think that it's good. And hopefully, yeah, I think that it's good to apply for that. It's always good to apply for that one. The
What's
Mass
the
Cultural Council is
notification?
great.
Do you know when they will be notifying people?
I don't know when the actual notifications go out. I know that we'll be getting the book to review in November, I believe, either end of October or November. We get like everybody's application to review, and then we'll set a meeting, and then that will probably be, I want to say January, but I'm a little bit new to that process as well.
I seem to remember it was early winter. It was
Yeah.
January, maybe early February when I got notification, which would be great because it helps with our spring program training, planning, especially because I know Han has a very ambitious idea of what she wants to put into play. So,
Yes.
okay. So all the money we get, we can spend. I'm sure we will.
Yes. So I apologize I wasn't able to make it. But how was Indigenous Peoples Day? I've been sick and doing birthdays.
Mhm.
I-
Jill was there to help me with her two wonderful little boys.
that's
We
great.
had nearly 3 dozen people, including several town councilors, including the president of the town council, Mike McLean. They ranged in age from little kids to senior citizens. Everyone, it went really, really well. It went very well. I've already sent a press release to everybody, and Jen McDonald has already posted my photos in a slideshow on our website. So you can look
Great.
at some slides, and WCAT was there and they filmed it. I don't have the link yet, but I expect I'll have the link very shortly. And as soon as I do, I'll make sure I, announce that all over the place for those who didn't have the opportunity to come. So it worked out really well. It
Great.
was very colorful. It was very fun and
Nice.
interesting. A completely different take on Indigenous People Day, because it was the Indigenous people of the Caribbean, the first peoples that Columbus met and decided, these people will make good slaves. And when they weren't as agreeable to be enslaved, they started killing them. But they did not die. They still exist. The Tano people still exist. And the Chalet, who was the presenter, brought her son, Vinny, who danced in full costume. And she was very charming. She was really charming. So that was good. And
Nice.
if we, we don't have to do the same kind of thing every year, but it's nice to have something that people look at as a show, and that's why they want to come, and that's what happened, I think, that night or Thursday evening. So
Nice.
it was good.
Hispanic Heritage Month, the book reading or the author reading, I'm trying to get in touch with Graciela. I reached out but hadn't heard. I know I believe it's in the Galvin Library. So I just need to coordinate with her, and it's on October 30th.
It's not on the community calendar,
Yeah.
and it's not being advertised at the library. I mean,
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not being advertised at the library, since the library is also.
oh, wait a second. No, I misspoke. It is. I saw that today on the digital.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't seen it on town kiosk or other digital boards around town.
Yeah. I'll try and get up some more. I'll get it on the calendars and such and see. Oh, hey, Jill.
There's Jill.
And see if we can get that more spread out, and also try and catch up with Graciela to see where she's spread the word. But yeah, so that is that's going on. Jill, I mentioned that you got the application in for the grant. Oh, and recap Town Day. It rained a lot.
Did rain a lot. Sorry to hop on late. I don't know why I had 7:30 in my head, but anyway, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Jill, how much did you apply for? We were wondering. How much money?
Ugh. Let me look it up. I'm writing another one for something else, and I don't want to confuse the numbers. I'll look it up.
Sure.
Okay. And I want to tell you that I acknowledge that your help and the help of your wonderful little boys at the Indigenous People. I thank you so much for coming. And at the post-press is already out. We already have a slideshow on our website.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and thanks to
enjoyed
everybody who
it.
came out for Town Day too. It was really rainy, but it was nice. I think that the people who, the intrepid Wakefielders came out, and
Yes.
and so
And we have to suggest that next year they make sure there's someone selling hot beverages.
yeah. It's been so, I mean, I don't want to lament on behalf of the town, but it's been a really beautiful fall. And so it's kind of like, but
Well,
thanks for everybody.
Steve Mayo, town administrator, in his his latest newsletter did say of all the weekends to rain, because it was beautiful every other weekend, it rained on
know.
Town Day.
Yeah,
But it's still, people came out. It wasn't as great an opportunity as we would have liked to have met a wide range of citizens to
yeah,
get them to sign up and possibly join us, but that's
Yeah.
the way it goes.
We did get 7 email addresses from the event, so
nice.
Brand new ones?
I don't know if they're new or not.
Okay, because I know that I had some people the other night who signed up, and all of them are already signed. They're already on our email list. They just keep on signing up over and over again every time they come to something.
You can relate to that.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And I also, the new, person who works in the town for Health and Human Services, is that the town department? She
What-
stopped by and mentioned that she'd like to coordinate at some point with us or figure out how to coordinate with us, which is, they're always a nice department to talk to.
Mhm.
But, and so upcoming, I know that the holidays will sweep us away shortly, but also, have you heard back? Sherry, did you reach out to, anybody from Martin Luther King? Yeah, you did, right?
Yes, yes, I have a whole bunch of notes to talk to you about. I will put my
Great.
glasses on so I can read them.
Great, because I don't want
I
that
I
to
found
take us
out
by
that
surprise.
Voices of Steel has the honor of performing in Memphis during that weekend, so Voices of Steel is not available.
Okay.
But I did, and I haven't heard back from him yet. I got in touch with the head of the gospel choral department at Berklee College of Music to see if he could recommend any community group that might sing. And then I had another idea. Suddenly, for some reason or another, I don't know if I heard it on the radio or what, but I heard the song, "What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love." And I was wondering, Jill, with your connections at Dolbear, if we can get a group of small children to sing that song at Martin Luther King Day.
I can definitely reach out and ask.
Okay.
Or
That would be,
they might be working on other songs already so that they don't have to learn something new, you
Yeah.
know? You can ask if they're already working on something or if they'd be willing to work with us on doing something.
it just needs to be appropriate for the occasion. That's why I was thinking that song, which is actually musically rather complex because he changes key in the middle, Burt Bacharach, but it's got the perfect sentiments and it doesn't have difficult lyrics.
Mhm.
So if you could find out if possibly a group of, it doesn't have to be like it could be the whole class, it could be 5 kids,
Mhm.
willing to sing. And then,
Yeah.
of course, we'll probably have to provide them with some sort of recorded music to sing along with, unless the teacher comes along with a guitar. I don't think there's a piano in the Galvin Auditorium. Well, maybe there is. Anyway, so
There
between,
should be actually.
yeah,
There should be actually a piano in the Galvin Auditorium
okay.
if you
Well,
need
maybe
it.
then we can get someone to accompany them on the piano, which would be
Sure.
really, really nice. Last year we had the rabbi doing a sing-along with his guitar and the lyrics up on, and we can invite the audience to sing. I can put the lyrics up on the screen as well, like we did last time, so the kids don't feel like they're being, just totally singled out. So this year, the strategic theme from the King Center is Mission Possible, Protecting Freedom, Justice, and Democracy in the Spirit of Nonviolence. And the whole point is, that there should be a sustainable solution to injustice and violence in our world, and ultimately leading to the creation of a beloved community. That's why I was thinking the world needs now is love, sweet love, where injustice ceases and love prevails. So I thought that was a song people are familiar with. And when I speak with Dr. Patterson, I hope soon, at Berklee, I will talk to him about providing, if he knows of a group of songs that might be not so overtly religious, but still spiritual and inconsistent with the theme. So the way things are looking right now we have an invocation by a member of the clergy, and I was going to ask Matthew to Reverend Matthew, I can't remember his last name, to do the invitation this time along. I have some wonderful slides because I went to the National Civil Rights Museum when I was in Memphis just last week, and they would be very appropriate to show because especially the museum is attached to the Lorraine Motel, and it's a very moving, very troubling museum to go through. And the last thing that happens is you find yourself in a corridor in the motel with the actual motel rooms on either side of you. So I have some photos of that. As usual, we like to have remarks by political leaders, and I'll send out invitations, and it would be nice to have readings if we, last year we had 2 wonderful students read for us, read Martin Luther King's words, and of course performances, and that's where the music comes in. We give student art awards, and I will, once I get back from New Orleans, I'm going to New Orleans on Thursday. I will work on the student art award application to send out to all the art teachers. And I will also work on the community service award that we advertise all over the town, because that's a very special award given to a citizen of Wakefield for all that they do for the community. And another up in the air thing is we always have a community service project. It's not on the same day necessarily. It could be another day. And I'm looking for ideas. I thought maybe we could do it in concert with the Youth Council or the Council on Aging, but we need an idea for a community project. The last few years that we've done it with the Boys and Girls Club. So I was thinking we should branch out, just as the last couple of years we hired that marvelous dance group, and I thought we should change up our entertainment as well to get people interested in coming. So please put on your thinking caps, because we need to come up with a community service project and start encouraging, people to participate as well. I could certainly use help on that application process. I know, Jess, I told you that it was in this format that really confused me last year. So perhaps, Jess, you can help me just with making sure I've got the application updated properly so that it has links that go to 2025 awards,
Yep.
not 2024 awards.
Yeah,
I
I can help you with that.
And
I'll look up to see. I know it was done in, I think, Google Forms in the past, but I'll look up to see
yeah,
if there's a better way to do it, or or just to make sure that if we do it that way, that it works.
an interactive PDF works for me. I like that better than the Google Forms, and Jalak, now I'm trying to recall, did you say that there was an active Black Student Union or not?
Yes, there is. I think they just had their first meeting like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I'd reached out to the advisors I think a week ago, and I still haven't gotten any response, so I might email them again.
Because we certainly would like their input and maybe
Yeah.
participation. Just like Glavia Smith is still supposed to be a liaison to this board, but she hasn't responded to coming to meetings. Glavia Smith
Mhm.
from the Medco program. It's, I don't know if, but if you, Jalak, could help us with making sure the Black Student Union somehow, and youth council members who I know are a very diverse group.
Yes.
I'd like to get as many students of different backgrounds involved as we can. This should be it's always more joyous when we have kids on the stage. That's the way, I just feel that way, And of course, there's 3 moms here. I'm a grandma. 3 moms, and you could appreciate that. What am I talking about? Amy, 4. Amy's got a baby too. So, and like I said, last year I took it on, and I took it on late because there was nobody else doing it. And this year I'm getting a much earlier start. Like I said, I've got notes and plans and contacting people. I was wondering, like, is Anna Morel going with you to Memphis?
Yes, and Mr. Banker. Yeah.
Okay, okay, I wasn't sure. Well, I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I hope you get to do more than perform. You get to see some of the sights because it's a really enjoyable place. You know, there's some serious things there, but it's mostly just really fun.
Yeah,
Lots-
we're going to the Civil Rights Museum. That's like
Yes,
the main thing that's on the docket. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what else we're doing there.
well, I hope you get to go to Sun Records.
Wonderful.
And Stax Records. It was yeah, there's a lot of real and Beale Street, well, it's not as sleazy as some other places. Beale Street, it would be fun for you guys to walk on Beale Street as all of the competing nightclubs blare their music as loud as they can to try to get you inside. And the neon signage is unbelievable. The most fabulous neon signage I've ever seen anywhere. I I think other than Tokyo, I've never seen signage like that. Very creative. Okay, so things are moving along, and like I said, if Jalak can help with the students, and Jess help me with the forms, and Jill see what about the music, and Han, you already got to start planning for April, May. But you know, all help is any help from everybody is very appreciated. And Jess, I'll send you the apps that I have before I leave, because I'm leaving 5 a.m. Well, actually, I'm leaving at 3 a.m. on Thursday morning.
Okay,
Okay, I'll send them to you tomorrow. And
that
we'll
sounds
be
good.
back. We'll be back next Tuesday night.
Okay, all right, that sounds
Okay.
good. Uh, Hun, do you want to talk about your thoughts for the Asian Pacific Islander? I know that you do have you may have some aspirational plans. I didn't know if you wanted to kind of like bring it up just to see if there's any early organization or early research or thoughts that you wanted help with or to do anything on.
Sure. So, we're thinking that for the Asian Pacific Islander event this year, we would do a food truck, a little food truck festival. And maybe depending on if we can, like a little fair to go along with it. So that might be very exciting to have like a craft event in the Maricel and have some food trucks in a nearby location, depending on where we can have that location present. So we'll need to, as part of that, I'm assuming that there's going to be fees from the food trucks if they don't have a certain number. There may be like a deposit or an initial commitment. So we'll need to understand those pieces, make sure that the advertising is there, get town approval if we need any sort of police presence for any of this, making sure that we have all those elements lined up. So I'm thinking of starting to get the committee back up and running. So I'll send them an email this month to start that planning process, see what the interests are, see what type of needs we have. But so far, it seems like people are excited about having something like that. I think we were looking online to see what food trucks are out there, and there seems to be a number of different food trucks that we could probably approach. Which our date right now is flexible, which I think is a good thing. But I think we're targeting if we can Sunday. I think it's May 19th is the day.
Is
Because we
this
have to
not
be
Father's Day?
because it's actually May 18th because it's not
Well, not
Mother's
Mother's Day.
Day
Okay, Father's Day is true.
and it's not Memorial Weekend. And I think what is it? The high school AP exams is on the 17th. So they should be done with that. Um so we're thinking May 18th may be our day if we can make all of that work.
One thing I learned when I was looking into this, they will require electricity. So you have to make sure that the site you have has electrical access for them.
That sounds exciting.
But we did, what was it that what was it? I think for Town Day they had some food trucks there for Town Day.
Yeah,
couple
I
of
don't
them
know
out
how
there.
they set that up, but I think that they had, I mean, they definitely had, because there were amplifiers at the music too. So I don't know how they set that up, but there's definitely electric there.
Yeah.
I don't know how anything works,
Yeah.
truly.
So we will look into
Magic.
it and find out what we can have available, what are the different sites available, and what are the amenities available at each of the different sites. So
Cool. Yeah, that sounds exciting. Um, as you reach out to people, let us know and we can set up meetings accordingly. It would be outside, it probably would be outside of, like if you need to do something outside of a regular monthly meeting, we can set it up. And we'll just have to, we do a public meeting and I think it's a public meeting in minutes, so we'll do it through Sherry. But you've been through this rodeo. This isn't your first rodeo. So, so same.
And we still, I hope we still have several community volunteers that
yes.
worked with Han and I over the last several years, and they were, and now we have an AAPI club at the high school to help us as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep, I've already recruited them.
Ah,
My daughter's the one that came up with the food truck idea.
cool.
So
and
That's
one
cool.
of the things we leapfrogged over is in March, who's going to take the lead on International Women's Day, which is
Ah,
not as hard to arrange because it's a panel. It's a matter of determining how to sort of sync up with the theme for the year and making sure you have appropriate questions and you invite the appropriate people. So that we have to think about March as well.
yeah, that's true. I'll put a feeler out to the um because it last year it was you and I, Sherry, and then
And Catherine, who even though
yeah,
she doesn't work in Wakefield, she lives in Wakefield and she wants to help.
yeah, she was a really great help. She just seemed to know, she was like a real Rolodex of
Yes.
interesting people. So and I have the people from that list last year who came and actually um do you remember do you remember your Lennis who spoke at that? Her daughter's the same age as mine, and I run into her now everywhere,
Mm.
truly everywhere. It's almost like I'm stalking her, but I swear if she happens to see this, I'm not. But so it was a really great group. So we can also reach out to those people. I think I've
Well,
got enough information to kick it off as we get closer to that. And I don't mind doing the same thing, hosting it as last year. So we'll have to just, I've got to just look at a calendar to see when it actually is.
and we have a different panel each year, not the same people.
Yeah, I think,
It's because it depends on the theme and what we want
yeah,
folks.
I have to see what the theme is. And I know that, I mean, we'll see who we can get. And even if anybody from last year knows anybody who might have been, who might also be interested, I think we can get a nice mix of people again.
I'm actually right now looking for the theme.
I'm
And to-
definitely happy to help. I don't feel like I could commit to leading it, but I can be a strong help.
Great. Be another Rolodex of people that you might know for me, because I feel like I don't, I feel like my circle is still very small. Um,
Here we go. The theme is Accelerate Action, a worldwide call to acknowledge the strategies, resources, and activity that positively impact women's advancement and to support and elevate their implementation.
ooh,
Okay, that's what they have right now.
okay.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, well, their themes are so broad that
yeah, I
we
was
end
gonna
up
say it's,
we end up like last year, we focused on women who had chosen fields that were traditionally male
mhm,
and made inroads. And They were absolutely terrific. They were inspirational. And since then, I've met other people and people I even know who we could have invited as well. Like I
Yeah.
have this really good friend who's a civil engineer, and I didn't realize what she had been a civil engineer her whole life working in a mailroom.
Mm.
So, but that was last year, but each year it changes just a little bit. Well, we have to start thinking
Yep.
about that. Um,
But
because
yeah,
it's amazing how quickly the time passes and then we run out of time.
I can take a lead on that, and Jill, I'll reach out to, or, feel free to begin to think also on the topic and people that might be, good to be involved.
Do we
Getting
generally,
what's that?
do we generally, like the people that are involved, do they generally like match some sort of a theme like they're talking
Well, we'll
about?
take
Yes.
that,
Or is it just like
we'll take
strong
that
women?
theme, we'll take the theme that Sherry just said, and we might need to focus it, or like say this is what it will look like for us. And then we can kind of then we can reach out to people based on that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just a free conversation. It's a focused conversation. Although everyone, everyone has the opportunity to tell their own story and how their experiences coincide with the thematic,
Mm-hmm.
meaning of the meeting of the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's in March, and I don't have the date, but we should all write it in our calendar already because we always try to do it on that date unless it's a weekend, then we don't do it on the weekend. And
Oh.
we also would have to reserve early enough and make sure it's not taken, the auditorium at the high school. The
Yeah,
theater. That's where we usually have it. It doesn't have to be there, but that's always such a great space.
it's actually on Saturday, March 8th, so it
Oh.
would be
On a Thursday or a Monday?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if we did it on a Saturday, I wonder if it would work on a Saturday, like on an afternoon, would we get more people?
Who's the contact for the auditorium?
Oh, it's on that sheet. It's
On the sheet? Okay.
yeah, and you actually apply for it online.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's on that, the multi-page Excel form.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure. It was a nice audience for the evening. It might be, but I'm open as we figure it out, and also see what's going on in the auditorium at that time. So, but yes, so that will be underway. And the only other, I have a couple of things from, Bob Vincent. He reached out about the flag raising, all of that stuff that we reviewed. It still wasn't the flag policy that John Chines wrote up. It wasn't actually approved by the town council. So there's still, I mean, it wasn't not approved. I don't really know. It still is basically the
I think it was
same
like a
flag policy.
temporary.
What's that?
I think it was like temporarily approved and it
Yeah, it was
expires
temporarily approved, but the
January.
approval will run out, and then they're gonna go back to so we're back to the policy that was there before. Either way, Bob reached out, and I gave him the dates, general dates of when we do flag raisings, and he put it in, he submitted it along with his flag stuff, and it should be fine as far as I understand. I just wasn't, I was, it was one of those things. But he dutifully reached out and was very nice about that. Jill, I know he is
That
your
reminds
neighbor.
me,
Say thank you if you see him.
I will get in touch with North Shore Juneteenth.
Yep.
This, when I come home next week to make sure we have reserved their services on the day that we want.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the only other thing is that they're doing that rededication of the memorial, and they wanted to possibly do a tie-in for International Women's Day since we speak of it.
I actually said to Bob that we would, because he kept on asking, and actually that memorial has nothing to do with us whatsoever, not the Human Rights Commission. But I said, I tell you what, since the woman who funded
Yep.
it was a major person in the town of Wakefield,
Mhm.
in concert with what we do on International Women's Day, we'll be sure to talk about her. We can put it up on our website, Facebook
Yep.
page, and I can get in touch with the Historical Society to see if there's other prominent women in
Yeah, and
particular
there's,
besides her that we might want to focus on as, say, prominent women of Wakefield. Actually, the Harvard Mills on Albion Street, where your mom lives, there was
yeah,
a woman involved with that, with the development of that as well.
okay,
So, but I assured him, I said, don't worry, Bob, we'll give her credit, we'll credit her, we'll tell people about her.
yeah.
I
And
don't think
there's,
our obligations go any further than that, especially because we're so small. And,
no, there's a,
and this, and
there
a
is,
war memorial is not exactly in our bailiwick. You know?
there is a woman, I believe, I have her contact information, who has all of the historical information on this philanthropist and is willing
Okay.
to share that information with me. I, um, I will get that and help to write something up that's nice. I think, I don't think that I like it that he wants to kind of create a bridge where one might be available, and I figure I'll at least once I have the information that this person can provide, then we can in a meeting closer to events, we can figure out what's appropriate. Cool.
I looked up the grant. I ended up asking for 3,500, which I thought was what we decided on, but then I read my
Great.
notes afterwards. It was like, oh, that's a little bit more than I think what we meant to ask for,
You
but
know, the whole thing is, if we get that much, that other rather famous and well-known tribal member is $3,000, we would be able to afford him and not wipe out our budget for everything else for the year.
Mhm.
That would be fabulous.
And they don't look at the amount that you request and say, too much and then give you
Yeah.
nothing. So that's
Might get
so
stung
that's
with that.
fine. Yeah, you don't get dinged for asking for more.
Yeah.
So,
And if they come back to you and ask you any questions, say that this year we were unable to hire a person for Indigenous People Day because we didn't have enough money, and we were hoping maybe we could put most of that grant towards hiring him. He's a well-known speaker, poet from a Massachusetts tribe.
Mhm. I mean, I also spoke to somebody last year about a Pride art display, and it was also in the thousands, and so had to turn that down, but those are some things we potentially could do.
yeah. Cool. Is there anything else under matters not anticipated or upcoming events? All right.
Were you all able to vote on the minutes without me here at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, we were able to.
Yeah. So no matter what you say, they've been approved.
So Han, are you able to remind us of our to-dos so we don't forget to take care of the things we promised we would do?
From last time
Oh, no, for today.
for today,
Yeah.
what I have in here is Jess will reach out to Graciela to follow up on the event for the Hispanic Heritage Month,
Mhm.
and that Jess will also follow up on the town sites and bulletin boards to get the word out. I have for Martin Luther King Day, Jill will follow up with the Dober School to see if any students are interested in singing. For Martin Luther King Day, I have Sherry will invite political leaders to give remarks. And Jalak will follow up with the Black Student Union at Wakefield High School if they would like to participate. For International Women's Day,
Oh, wait, and I
oh,
also must send Jess the
The form.
awards forms to see if
oh,
we fit in a
let me
better
highlight that. I
format.
have Sherry and Jess will work on the application form together.
Great, great.
Let me just, I have Jess will work together on it. So let me spell that out a little bit more. Sherry and Jess will work on the application.
Is the Martin Luther King Day event on the 20th?
Yes, Monday, the 20th.
Let me just add that note.
And a sort of a to-do for everyone is think about what we might do with whom for a community service project sometime within the month of January, if possible. Could be, like I said, youth council, council on aging, any particular community group. Could be the health department might have ideas, whoever.
What about the food bank? I don't know what kind of event we could do with them, but
Wakefield Pantry.
yeah, food pantry.
The food bank.
I mean, I do think after the holidays is when things really slow down for them in terms of donations.
That
What,
makes
what,
sense.
what I've only been involved with a few of these, and it's usually the kind of thing where we all work together and we get volunteers from like last year we were painting and we got a couple of dozen volunteers from the community helped us paint. So that beautiful Starry Night mural in the basement of the Boys and Girls Club could proceed, because we painted all the base color for them. So it was great because we had people, including young children.
Yeah, my kids were there.
Yeah, it was a great project because we all pitched in together. So if you can think of some way that doing a food drive to help the food bank, that's certainly a community project, but we want to make it so that other people work with us on it. To get more people in the community involved, because it's a community project, not just HRC. It's supposed to be community service. But we can talk about it more next meeting. We just wanted to throw it out there, so we'll start thinking about it.
And
Oh, and I'll
then
contact North Shore Juneteenth. Because I want to make sure we get our date.
Yep.
that on there.
So Jess, you want to bring us to a close?
Yeah, let's do
Do
it.
you want me to keep going? I have more things
Oh,
to
more,
do.
okay.
For International Women's Day, I have Jess will follow up with Catherine and others who attended the event last year, and that Jill will also offer to assist. And then I will start to coordinate with the volunteers for Asian Pacific Islander Month. And that's it.
Great. Well then, without further ado, let us adjourn. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn at 7:52?
I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:52 PM.
Great,
I second it.
great. I approve.
I approve.
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 Okay.
Great. Then thank you all. And I will see you again next month.